Naboboard ako, Bella.
Anong gusto mong gawin?
Parang gusto ko mag-outing. Ano kayong... Check mo nga kung may pera ka pa. Wala na akong pera eh. Libre mo ako.
Sige nga. Uy! Parang may nawawala.
What happened, Bella?
May nawawala sa bangko ko.
Anong nawawala?
Pera!
Huwag kasing gamitin yung bangko mo. Luma na yan. Why don't you try the banking system of the ITA?
Dangal greetings, Dangal Lambayan. Welcome to another video. This time around, it's for our midterm project. Now, before we dive into the codes and features, let's talk about where it all began. The problem we want to solve. And for that, may I call on Miss Jaira Reyes.
Dangal greetings everyone. Today, our group is proud to present our midterm project titled Multi-Tier Banking System. So ano nga bang ginagawa sa program na ito? This program simulates how real-world banking works, but in simplified, user-friendly ways that helps user experience how structured programming applies to a financial system. Lahat ng ito ay nagsisimula sa pamamagitan ng pag-i-initialize ng ilang user account. Lahat ay may account number, PIN, balance, at may tier classification. May 3 tiers tayo. Yun ay basic, premium, at VIP. These tiers have their own privilege, limitation, at daily transaction caps.
The main goal of our project was to create an algorithm that could simulate real banking operations while ensuring that the rules of each tier was properly followed. Dahil hindi kami nakagamit ng arrays or lists, nag-focus kami na logical flow at problem solving to manage multiple users and their transactions gamit ng if-else to make the transaction safe and fair. This made the process both challenging and exciting dahil we had to think like programmers and problem solvers. So, program na ito, ang bawat tier ay may withdrawal rules. Ang mga basic account ay pwede ang mag-withdraw ng 25,000 per day, while premium accounts can withdraw up to 50K. Sa VIP accounts naman po, wala pong limit.
In conclusion, our multi-tier banking system shows how structured programming can solve practical problems. Through this process, we can apply classroom concepts to a working system and improve our understanding of program design. Dahil dyan ay na-implement namin ang mga logical solution gamit lang ang control structures and validation.
Imagine you walk into a bank, ready to deposit or withdraw? Pero instead na teller ang haharap sa'yo, it's a smart system handling everything. That's exactly what our multi-tier banking system does. Kaya na walang patumpik-tumpik pa at simulan na natin on how the algorithm works.
So, the first step in here is yung start na command. This marks the official beginning of the program execution. Ang step na ito ay needed dahil para siyang machine na hindi gagalaw kung hindi mo muna i-on. And also, this step sets the stage sa mga susunod na actions. Then, we have the step 2, which is the program will start by initializing the placeholder accounts. And each account includes an account number, PIN, balance, and its classification, either basic, premium, or VIP. Ginawa ang process na ito dahil this will be the foundation of the whole system. Kailangan ready ang mga accounts para sa mga susunod na proseso or transactions. Kagaya lang ito ng bank na nagpe-prepare ng record ng client nila before ang opening.
Once the accounts are ready, the systems will assign withdrawal limits, which is 25,000 para sa basic, 50,000 para sa premium, at yung walang limit para sa VIP. So itong tier or classification will ensure fairness and order, which will prevent abuse and keeping transactions realistic in our system.
For step 4, the program will display a welcome message to greet the user and introduce the multi-tier banking transaction system. Ang part na ito ay hindi lang para mapaganda ang flow ng program. Kung ihahantulad ito sa real-world scenario, para itong receptionist sa isang bank na bumabati muna sa mga customers to make them feel acknowledged and ready na sa magiging transactions. For step 5, the program prompts the user to input their account number and PIN. Kung iisipin, para lang itong ATM na hindi ka magkakaroon ng access sa account mo without entering these credentials.
The system then reads and stores the entered credential in memory for verification. Every input is recorded to make sure that the system can validate the user properly.
Now for step 7, the program will check if the account number and PIN are matched to any placeholder accounts. So part na ito ay parang ATM din na nagla-lock after multiple wrong attempts. If incorrect, the login attempt counter increases. If the login attempt counter reaches 3, it displays account locked. The user cannot log in again with this account during the current session. If attempts are still available, the program will display invalid credentials. Please try again. If correct, the program will display login successful and it will reset the login attempt counter to 0. This process ensures that the only legitimate users gain access to their accounts.
For step 8, the program will identify the account tier, either basic, premium, or VIP. Confirms the corresponding limit for the day. Ginawa naman yung process na to para matulungan at maging maayos ang experience ng bawat user. For step 9, the program will set the transaction or the tracker to 0. Ang part naman nito ay makakatulong sa amin to monitor how many transactions the user perform and how much they withdrawn.
For step 10, the program will display a transaction menu offering the following options: deposit, withdraw, check balance, and logout. Ang part naman na ito ay para mabigyan ng user ng control sa magiging transaction nila. Para sa step 11, if the user selects a transaction option, this is where the interaction start kasi dito na hihintayin ng system ang magiging decision ng user kung ang pipiliin ba nila ay deposit, withdraw, check balance, or log out.
For step 12, the program will read and store the user's transaction choice. This step is important dahil dito malalaman ng system kung anong sunod ang i-execute. For step 13, if the user selects the deposit option, ask the user to enter deposit amount. The program will read and store the deposit amount by the user. If the amount is entered less than or equal to 0, the program will display invalid deposit amount. Otherwise, the program will add the deposit amount and display the updated balance. The transaction counter is increased by 1.
For step 14, if the user selects withdraw, the program will prompt the user to enter a withdrawal amount. And the program will read and store the withdrawal amount entered by the user. Sa part na ito ay para ma-ensure po ang responsible withdrawals. If the withdrawal amount is less than or equal to 0, the program will display invalid amount. If the withdrawal amount is greater than balance, the program will display insufficient funds. If the withdrawal amount exceeds the daily withdrawal limit, the program will display limit exceeded. Otherwise, the withdrawal amount deducted from the balance, the tracker is updated, and the new balance is displayed. And lastly, the transaction counter increases by 1. For step 15, if the user selects check balance, the program will display the current balance in the account tier. This gives users a snapshot of their account status. Parang mini statement sa receipt ng ATM na may breakdown ng balance at withdrawal info. If the account tier is basic or premium, also display the withdrawal tracker and the remaining allowed withdrawal for the day. If the account tier is VIP naman, program displays no withdrawal limit. Hindi siya katulad ng basic tier or premium tier. And lastly, the transaction counter increases by 1. Parang katulad lang po siya sa step 14.
For step 16, if the user chooses the invalid choice, the program will display invalid choice. Please try again. For step 17, after each transaction, the program checks if the transaction counter has reached the 3. If yes, the program will display the transaction limit reached, logging out, and proceeds to save account details. If not, the user returns to step 10, which is the transaction menu. Bakit nga ba may transaction limit? Nilagay ito para maiwasan ng abuse na paggamit sa system during one session.
For step 18, when the users log out, save the account details and ask the user if they want to log in again. This gives the user control over their session. For step 19, the program will read and store the user's choice. These steps ensures smooth transaction between session ng user sa paggamit ng system. If the user chooses to log in again, the program will return to login menu. If not, the program will display a farewell message.
For step 20, the program will display a farewell message and thank the user for using the program. Ginawa namin ito para makita na tapos na yung session and to give a sense of closure. Parang sa bangko, nakapagtapos ka na sa transaction, may thank you for banking with us sa receiver sa screen. It's a small detail, pero it adds professionalism and completeness to the system.
For the last step, the program concludes its operation. And that wraps our walkthrough in the algorithm of our multi-tier banking system. Now we will presenting our pseudocode and it will identify the account tier, whether it's basic, premium, or VIP, and confirms the corresponding limits for day. Ginawa namin ang process na ito para matulungan at maging maayos ang mga user at ang mga experience ng user rather sa habang ginagawa or habang ginagamit ang program namin.
So, ngayon naman, we'll walk you through the pseudocode of our multi-tier banking transaction system. Kung sa unang presentation ay nag-focus tayo sa algorithm, this time we'll show you those steps translate into structured programming logic. So, without further ado, let's get it started.
Step 1. Start. We begin with the start command. This isn't just a formality, but this is a signal to the system that all processes are about to activate. Step 2. Initialize account number, PIN, balance, and tire. Before anything else, we need to set up the basic identity of each account by prompting the user to input their PIN, balance, and its classification, basic, premium, or VIP. Ginawa namin itong early step kasi ito ang magiging foundation ng system. Para sa bangko, hindi ka makakapag-transact wala ka account, di ba? By setting these values upfront, the system knows kung sino ang user, magkano ang laman ng account, at anong rules ang applicable sa kanya. This setup allows the program to validate credential, apply tire-specific limits, and tracks transaction properly.
3. Set withdrawal limits. If tier, the basic one is 25,000 per day. If tier, premium is 50,000 per day. Else tier, VIP is no withdrawal limits. For these steps, the program will set the withdrawal limits. Each tier has its own privileges. For the basic, accounts are limited to 25,000 a day. For the premium, accounts are limited to 50,000 per day. For the VIP, accounts have no limit.
Display welcome message. For this step, the system will display a welcome message. This is not just for aesthetic. Ginawa namin ito for readability and user experience. It also helps us and the user know na tama ang flow ng system at ready na siya mag-proceed sa next step. Sa structured programming, small touches like this improve clarity and make the system feel more interactive.
Step 5. The program will prompt the user's account number and PIN. And it will read account number and PIN. Dito po maglalagay si user ng something or ng account number niya and PIN. And it will read account number and PIN. Store as a variable temporarily dahil maglalagay tayo ng conditions to check if it is valid or invalid. Lagay tayo ng step 6. If incorrect, if login is incorrect, increment login ng temp counter by 1. This step isn't just for tracking, but also a protective measurements. Since kapag naglagay si user ng account number niya and PIN, need natin i-check and i-validate kung tama ba yung nilagay niya. It is a simple way, but maganda siyang paraan para maprotektahan yung user's data and also para ma-maintain system integrity sa buong program.
So, in this step 7, read attempt. If login attempt reaches 3, display account lock, please try a different account. So, sa step na ito, kapag yung user ay nag-fail ng 3 beses, the system locks the account. Sa step na ito ay nagsiset ng login attempt ang system. Kapag naka-3 wrong tries na, the system locks the account. Common itong makikita sa mga ATM or banking apps para maiwasan ang guessing ng password. It's a basic but effective security feature to protect a user data.
In this step po, kapag mayroon pa pong login attempts user, magdi-display po yung aming program ng error message and then uulit po yung mag-iterate po ulit yung question or yung prompt para kunin yung account number at saka yung account PIN user.
Else login is correct, display login successful, then reset login attempt counter equals 0. So, sinasabi lang naman dito na kapag tama yung login, ibig sabihin na-enter ng user ang tamang password. Kaya mag-display si system ng login successful bilang confirmation na nakapasok na siya sa account niya. Then, pagkatapos nun, i-reset sa 0 ang login attempt counter na para bang binupunasan mo ulit yung whiteboard bago ka magsimula ng bagong susulat. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na binibilang ng system yung mga failed attempts ng user bago siya mag-success sa paglalagin. Fresh start siya kumbaga. Then, ngayon, meron tayong identify account tier, basic, premium, VIP, confirm the withdrawal limit for the day, then yung set transaction counter equal to 0, and daily withdrawal tracker is equal to 0. So, each tier may specific withdrawal limit siya, which was already mentioned in step 3. Then, pagkatapos, ma-identify ang tier, nire-reset ng system ang transaction counter at daily withdrawal tracker sa 0. Then, i-check and update yung tracker with each withdrawal para ma-ensure na yung daily limit is not exceeded.
For step 9, display transaction menu. Deposit, withdraw, check balance, and log out. Prompt the user to select a transaction option. Read transaction option. In this step, a list of available banking options to the user. The user to choose what they want to do by entering the corresponding number. Read and store it so the program knows which action the user selected. If deposit, proceed with the deposit process. Prompt user to enter deposit amount. Read amount. In this step, if the user chooses to deposit, the system asks for the amount and records it to add to the account. If deposit is less than or equal to 0, display invalid deposit amount. The amount of deposit will be invalid if the amount is 0 or a negative number. Deposits must be positive amounts to increase the account balance correctly.
So, we have else deposit amount plus balance, display updated balance, increment transaction counter by 1. So, sinasabi dito na kapag nag-deposit si user, the system updates the new balance sa pamamagitan ng pagdagdag ng deposit amount sa current balance niya. Then, after nun, ipapakita ng system ang updated balance to confirm na pumasok talaga yung pera sa account niya. And then, after nun, i-increment ng system yung transaction counter. Ibig sabihin, nagdagdagan ng isa na bilang ng transaction for today kasi may limit yung number of transactions natin. So, if I will compare it, it's like an attendance sheet sa class na bawat activity na may gagawin is nilalagyan natin ng checkmark para ma-record na may ginawa talaga si user. And in this way, natutulungan ng system na subaybayan kung how many times nag-transact yung user natin sa isang araw. And then also here, we have else if withdraw, proceed with withdrawal process, prompt user to enter withdrawal amount, read withdrawal amount. So, yun. In that part, sinasabi lang na kapag withdrawal naman ang pinili ng user, tatanungin ng system kung magkano yung gusto mong i-withdraw. So, parang ATM lang siya essentially na kailangan mong i-type kung magkano yung kukunin mo bago ito maglabas ng pera. So, here you also have if withdrawal amount is less than equal to 0, display invalid amount. So, kung ang nilagay mo naman daw na halaga is 0 or mas mababa pa, sabihin ng system namin na invalid to. So, parang sinasabi, paano ka mag-withdraw ng wala? Kasi, it doesn't make sense na mag-request ng 0 or negative amount, kaya agad ito tatanggihan ng system namin. So, here we also have else if withdrawal amount is greater than balance, display insufficient funds. So, dito naman, kung mas malaki naman yung gusto niyang i-withdraw, isa sa current balance ng account niya, ipapakita ng system namin ang insufficient funds. So, parang gusto mo lang bumili ng sapatos na 2,000, pero 1,500 lang yun naman ng wallet mo. So, hindi talaga pwede. Ganito rin yung sa system namin. Hindi siya papayag na maglabas ka ng pera na wala naman sa account ng user namin. So, here we also have else if withdrawal amount is greater than the daily limit, display limit exceeded. So, kung sakali lumampas naman sa daily withdrawal limit yung user, kasi depende ito sa account tier na meron sila, ipapakita ng system namin na limit exceeded. Para itong baon mo sa daily life mo na may limit per day. So, kahit may pera ka pa sa bank, kung lagpas ka naman na sa allowed amount na kailangan mong gastusin, maghihintay ka pa na kinabukasan bago ka makapag-withdraw ulit.
If the withdrawal amount is within the available balance, the system deducts it, update the daily withdrawal tracker, displays the new balance, and increase the transaction count. Otherwise, it likely show an error for insufficient funds. If the user selects check balance, the system shows their current balance and account tier. If the tier is basic or premium, it also displays the daily withdrawal tracker and remaining allowed withdrawals. Otherwise, if the user enters an invalid option, it shows invalid choice. Please try again.
Makakompleto ng isang transaction, doon na po i-check ng aming program kung yung I po namin ay equal na sa 3. Since for loop po ang ginamit ng aming program, kapag equals na po siya sa 3, automatic po nalalabas na po siya doon sa loop, which is yung sa may transaction menu. No, kapag po, however, na hindi pa po kompleto or hindi pa po equal sa 3, mananatili po siya doon. Babalik po ulit siya doon sa may transaction menu. Now, after po nun, if ever na makalabas na po siya sa mismong loop, then tsaka naman po i-check kung yung I po ay equal sa 3. Now, kung equal po sa 3 yung I, magkakaroon po ng notification or ng message yung user na na-reach na po yung daily transaction limit and then magla-log out. Kapag po pinili ni user mag-log out, mala-log out po yung account niya and then masisave po yung kanyang mga banking details or kung ano yung po yung mga previous transaction na ginawa niya.
So, if user chooses to log in, read user's choice, display login menu. Else, if user chooses not to log in, display farewell message and thank the user. So, dito sa part na ito is yung pinakadulang part ng system namin and na-log out na si user. So, pag pinili ni user na mag-login again, babasahin ng system yung choice niya and ipapakita ulit yung login menu. It will start the process again kung saan pwede mag-enter ng account details, ng account number at PIN si user to enter the system once more. But if the user chooses not to log in, the process will not continue, but instead, it will display a farewell message and magpapasalamat ito sa user sa paggamit ng system. Kumbaga, parang polite lang na cashier na nagsasabing, "Thank you, please come again." So, ayun. Yung pinaka-last naman is end. So, ito is yung pinakahuling bahagi ng pseudocode namin. Dito nagtatapos yung buong process ng banking system mula login, pagpili ng transaction, and hanggang sa mga condition for deposit, withdrawal, balance inquiry, and the logout.
And now we will discuss our flowchart. First, let's shortly discuss the symbols used in the flowchart. First step, this flowchart uses several symbols which includes the following. Flowline symbols, represented by arrows, guide the direction of the process. Oval symbols that usually contain the words start and end of the program. Rectangle symbols are used to represent processes or to show that something is performed. Parallelogram symbols are used for input and output such as reading and displaying data. The home plate-shaped pentagon, known as the off-page connector, is used when the flow continues on another page. Step 2. The flowchart begins with start symbol, which marks the beginning of the program. After this, the system initializes the necessary variables such as the count number, PIN, balance, transaction counter, and withdrawal tracker. And then, the program displays the message, "Welcome to the ITA banking system." Step 3. Next, a parallelogram is used to show that the program prompts the user to input their account number and PIN. Step 4. Followed by the 3 corresponding parallelograms, this shape represents different outputs. It includes text for the program's visibility and text for prompting the user. For step 5, the last parallelogram reads the user input and the following shapes determine the flow by checking the inputted values. Step 6. I-check po ng program kung na-meet po yung required condition. Kapag na-meet po siya, magtutuloy-tuloy po yung program. And if not, i-check po ng program kung ilang beses nagkamali si user. At kapag umabot yun ng 3, magla-logout po si user and magla-lock po yung account niya. Step 7. Kapag tamang account number at PIN na na-input ni user within the allowed attempts, makakapasok na siya sa main banking system. I-retrieve ng program ang account details ni user gaya ng name, account type, at current balance, preparing the system for further transaction. Step 8. The program will continue by checking the user's account tier. Each account tier has separate condition. Tiers like basic and premium have a daily withdrawal limit, whereas VIP does not. Step 9. The program will then display the transaction menu. Each option contains different formula that will determine the flow of the program. Step 10. The program will prompt the user to enter their choice, and that input will decide the route of the program's execution.
Now, if the user chooses to check the balance, the program will show the balance to the user. The transaction counter will be increased by 1. The program will check if the transaction counter has reached its limit. If it did, or kung na-reach na yung limit niya, the current account will be automatically logged out, and the program would ask the user if he wants to log in again. If the user wants to log in again, the program will switch back to the login option. However, if the user chooses to terminate the program, the banking system will end. Otherwise, if the transaction counter did not meet the required condition, the program will automatically switch back to the transaction menu. Else, if the user chooses to deposit, the program will prompt the user to deposit something. If the user deposits an amount that does not meet the required condition, the program will display an error message, and the prompt will reiterate. If the condition naman is met or na-meet niya po yung condition, the program will add the deposited amount to the balance. The variable that tracks the transaction amount will then add 1 to its value. So, madadagdagan po siya ng isa sa original value po niya. After that, the cycle of checking the transaction value will repeat and will the action depending to its condition, and the program will check the user. Else, if the user chooses to withdraw, the program will prompt the user to enter the withdrawal amount. The entered withdrawal amount will undergo several validation conditions. If the withdrawal entered is less than or equal to 0, the program will display an error message stating that the amount is invalid. Kapag 0 or negative ang amount, magpapakita ng invalid amount na message sa user. Kapag mas mataas naman ang balance ng user, magdi-display ito ng insufficient amounts or funds. Para sa basic and premium user, i-check din kung lalagpas ang amount sa daily withdrawal limit nila. If any of these validations fail or kapag lumagpas ito or na-check, the program will display an appropriate message and return to the transaction menu. If the amount naman is valid, the program will subtract it from the user's balance. A message will appear saying withdrawal amount successful, and the updated balance will be displayed. The transaction counter then will increase by 1. After a successful withdrawal, the program will check if the transaction limit has been reached. If the limit has been reached, the account will automatically log out, and the program will ask the user if they want to log in again. If the user answers yes, the system will go back to the login part. If the user answers no, the program will end or will terminate. If the transaction limit is not yet reached naman, the user will simply return to the transaction menu. If the user chooses to check balance, the program will display the current account balance and show which account tier the user belongs to, kung basic ba, kung premium, or VIP. After showing the balance, the transaction counter will again increase by 1. Then, the program will check if the transaction limit has been reached. If it has reached or kung naabot niya na ito, the user will automatically log out and ask if they want to log in again. If not, the user will go back to the transaction menu. If the user selects or pinili niya naman mag-log out, the program will display a farewell message. Then, the program will ask the user if he wants to or she wants to log in again. If the user chooses yes, the program will return to the login part. And if the user chooses no, the program will proceed to the end of the system. Finally, the program reaches the end symbol, marking the termination of multi-tier banking system. This indicates that all the user's inputs, conditions, and transactions has been processed, completing the entire flow of the system.
Dangal greetings! We have finally reached the part where we will showcase and try out our system, while explaining the purpose of each line. On line 11, we have these lines declared to string variables, account number and PIN, which will store the user's input for their account number and PIN. The account number starts as null because it doesn't have a value yet, while PIN will be filled in once the user enters their password. On line 12, we have these lines which are used to track how many incorrect PIN attempts each user makes. Every time a user enters the wrong PIN, the corresponding counter like attempts user 1 increases by 1. The max attempts constant is set to 3, meaning that after 3 failed attempts, the user account will be locked. On line 16 to 18, these lines define the correct login credentials and correct account tiers for the 3 users. Each account has an assigned account number, PIN, and tier level, basic, premium, or VIP, which can determine different privileges later in the program. On line 21 to 22, we have these lines to declare Boolean variables that track whether each account is still active or locked. If the user enters the wrong PIN too many times, their account a variable like user1 will be set to false. The has active accounts variable checks if at least one of the 3 accounts is still available for login. On line 25-26 here, each account is given an initial balance amount and a withdrawal tracker. The balance account variables store how much money each user currently has, while the withdrawal tracker variables track how much they have withdrawn during the session. On line 29 to 31, the peso sign variable stores the peso symbol so that it could be reused throughout the program without typing it repeatedly. The exit confirmation variable will later be used to confirm whether the user wants to log out or log in again. Lastly, is running acts as a master switch that keeps the entire program running as long as it remains true. On line 34 to 36, these lines print the program's header. It's mainly for representation and helps us make the output cleaner and more professional looking when the banking system starts. So, in the next lines, like do, this begins the main program loop using do-while structure. The loop allows the banking system to run continuously until all the accounts are locked, or the user decides to exit. Inside the loop, the variable has active accounts checks whether at least one of the 3 accounts, user 1, user 2, or user 3, is still active. On line 43 to 47, this section checks if all the accounts have been locked. If none are active, it prints a message indicating that the program is ending and uses break to stop the loop entirely. On line 50 to 51, these lines ask the user to enter their account number and store it in the variable account number using reader.readerLine open parentheses close parentheses. This is where the user interactions begin. On line 54 to 59, if the entered account number belongs to a locked account, the system will display a warning and use continue to skip the rest of the current loop iteration, prompting the user to enter a different account number. If the entered number doesn't match any known account, it will print account not found and ask again. On line 54 to 79, if the entered account number belongs to a locked account, the system will display a warning and use continue to skip the rest of the current loop iteration, prompting the user to enter a different account number. If the entered number doesn't match any known account, it will print account not found and ask again. On 83 to 84, after confirming that the account exists and is active, these lines prompt the user to enter their PIN and save it to the variable PIN. On line 87 to 91, here several temporary variables are initialized to restore the session's data. These values depend on which account logs in and are filled after the login is validated. For instances, each user's balance withdrawal limit and tier will be assigned later in the code. On lines 94 to 112, this block validates the login credentials for user 1. If the account number matches user 1 and the entered PIN is correct, the program assigns their correct tier, balance and withdrawal limit, and withdrawal tracker to that session. It then prints a login successful message along with the user's tier. If the PIN is incorrect, the program increments attempt user 1, shows how many attempts are left, and if the user reaches 3 failed attempts, it locks the account by setting user 1 equals false. The continue statement then restarts the loop, allowing another user to log in or try again. From 116 to 134, the same logic is applied for user 2 and then later user 3. Each user has their own credentials, balances, and limits, and the code ensures each account is validated and user locked independently if too many incorrect attempts are made.
So, proceed tayo sa line 137. It is for users 3 login. Lagay tayo ng step condition, else if account number that equals correct account 3, logical and user 3. Then, lagay tayo ng if sa loob, if pin that equals correct pin 3, it will set by tier equals tier 3, balance equals balance account 3, withdrawal limit equals double that max value, withdraw equals withdrawal tracker 3. It will display login successful, your account tier is plus tier. Dito, pag lalagay natin dito is yung tama yung in-enter ni user for user 3 login. It will set as a VIP tier. Yun nga, pag tama siya, yun ang lalabas. Pag set yung tier, balance, withdrawal limit for VIP. Otherwise, pag else tayo, attempt user 3++, semicolon. It will display wrong password, attempts left, plus max attempts, minus attempt user 3. Dito naman, yung part ng paglalagay natin ng, yung pagbibilang natin ng remaining attempts ni user kapag mali yung nilagay. Lagay tayo ng if sa line 150, attempts user 3 equals max attempts. Dito na yung part na kapag na-reach na ni user yung tatlo na remaining attempt niya, it will display account plus correct account 3 plus has been lockout. So dito, malalockout na yung account ng number 3 or ng users 3 login and magko-continue siya sa line 156 and else for line 158. Dito, kapag nag-try pa naman siya ulit, nalagay dito, account not found or already lockout. So it means, kapag trinay ulit i-login yun, yung account na na-lockout na, yun ang lalabas. Continue tayo sa line 162, which is continue. Tayo sa line 166, gamit tayo ng for loop, int I equals 1, semicolon I is less than or equals to 3, semicolon I plus plus. This will indicate that there should be only 3 sessions per transaction. Immediately, i-print out nito yung 4 na pagpipilian ng user na transaction menu, which is yung deposit, withdraw, check balance, log out, indicated as 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 175, lagay tayo ng int bank menu, and also from line 176 to line 179. Gamit tayo ng try and catch method. This will provide the user na mag-enter lang ng number from 1 to 3, 4. Kasi, ang dapat lang ilagay ng user dito is 1, 2, 3, 4 dahil ang pagpipilian niya lang ay 4. Nevertheless, kung mag-enter na special character or ng letters, mapiprint out to na invalid input, please try again. And then yung I is minus minus, ibig sabihin, uulit sa 0 yung counter. Then continue, kung tama na yung na-enter ni user, let's proceed from switch bank menu case 1. Dito na mag-handle ng deposit transaction. Siyempre, try and cash na naman tayo dito. So, it will print the current balance plus peso sign and modulus 0.2f as yung balance. This will show the current balance ni user. Tatanungin ni program si user kung magkano gusto niyang i-deposit. Of course, lagay tayo dito ng condition. If deposit amount is less than or equals to 0, it will display invalid amount, please try again. So dito naman, it will reject kung 0 or negative yung i-enter ni user na number. Kasi, logically speaking, hindi naman tayo makapag-deposit ng mga ganong value unless it was positive. So, magre-retry yun sa transaction number. Then, continue tayo sa line 195. Dito naman, kapag tama na in-enter ni user. So, balance plus equals deposit amount. Ito na yung dadagdagan yung program, yung in-enter ni user na value. So, it will display the deposited money plus peso sign plus modulus 2.f \n and deposit amount. Ito yung show na yung deposit amount na nilagay ni user. Eventually, i-display yung new balance or yung updated balance sa line 199 to 200. And then, yan. Ito yung catch natin. So, number format exception. So, same with yung pag-enter user ng number. Dapat number lang. Bawal yung special characters or even letters. Doon din gagana yung parang I minus which is magre-reset yung transaction counter as 0 kasi nga mali naman yung nilagay ni user and hindi accepted. And sa line 206 gamit tayo ng break para tumigil yung switch statements natin.
Dito naman po tayo sa case 2 po natin. Ito po yung mag-handle ng withdrawal transaction ng program natin. Tapos declare po tayo ng boolean valid withdrawal equals false. Ito po yung magtatrack kung naging successful po yung withdraw ng user. Then gumamit po tayo ng do while loop. Do while valid withdrawal is false. Maglo-loop po ito na maglo-loop hanggang mag-cancel si user o hanggang maging valid po yung withdraw ni user. Then balik po tayo dito sa system out print current balance. Ito po yung magpiprint ng current balance ni user. Tapos gumamit po tayo ng if else na kung ang gamit pong account ni user ay yung VIP account, magpiprint po yung withdraw niya ngayong araw. Tapos no withdraw limit kasi po wala pong limit ang VIP account. Else, kung ang gamit naman po niya ay basic o premium account, magpiprint po yung withdraw niya today, tapos yung withdraw limit ng account na yun. And then dito naman po, ipoprompt po natin si user na mag-enter kung gaano karami po yung i-withdraw niya. Dito po siya mag-i-input, double withdraw balance equals double.first double, reader.read line. Ito naman po yung mag-check kung ang withdrawal amount ay nag-exceed sa balance or sa withdraw limit natin. Kung ang gumamit po tayo dito ng if-else if. Kung ang withdraw balance ay mas malaki po sa balance, magpiprint po yung insufficient funds. Tapos mapupunta po siya dito sa if valid withdrawal is false. Magpiprint po yung do you want to retry. Kung ang i-enter po ni user ay letter Y, magpapaprompt po ng withdraw. Kung letter N naman po ang i-enter ni user, babalik po siya sa main menu. Tapos balik po tayo dito sa error handling natin. Else, if withdraw balance is less than or equal to 0, kung negative po ang i-enter ni user o 0, magpiprint po yung invalid amount. Please enter a positive amount. Tapos babalik din po siya dito sa if valid withdrawal is false, do you want to retry? And then dito naman po, kung ang gamit naman po ni user na account ay VIP, magiging successful po yung withdraw niya. Ito pong withdraw na variable na to, ito po yung magiging placeholder po ng mga withdraw ni user sa isang session, sa isang araw po. Madadagdagan po ito kada withdraw ni user. Tapos dito naman po sa balance is yung pinaka-balance po ni user na mababawasan kada withdraw niya po. Tapos dito naman ipiprint po natin yung withdraw ni user, successfully withdraw plus withdraw balance. Tapos dito naman po, updated balance naman po ipiprint natin. Yung magiging balance niya po after niya mag-withdraw. Tapos dito naman po, yung withdrawn today. Tapos yung withdraw na variable. Tapos ito naman po, else if withdraw balance plus withdraw. Yung withdraw balance is yung pag pinag-enteran po ni user kada magwi-withdraw siya. Tapos yung withdraw naman po na variable is yung placeholder nga po ng withdraw amount po kada session or kada araw. Kung ang dalawang yun po na pinagsama ay less than or equal to the withdraw limit of the account, magpa-process pa rin po yung pag-withdraw nila. Parang kanina lang po dito sa VIP account na else if, ganun din po yung process dito. And magiging true po yung valid withdrawal, which means hindi na po siya pupunta rito sa if valid withdrawal is false. Kasi naging true na nga po yung valid withdrawal natin. At kung hindi naman po masunod yung mga condition na yon, magpiprint po yung system out print line withdrawal limit exceeded. Kasi nga po, mas malaki na po yung ina-enter ni user na amount sa pag-withdraw niya sa withdrawal limit o sa balance niya po. Tsaka po magra-run tong error handling natin. Kasi false po yung valid withdrawal niya. Hindi po valid yung pag-withdraw niya. Then dito naman po sa case 3, ipiprint out niya po yung account tier ni user pati yung balance po ni user. Naka-base po siya sa account na ginagamit ni user. Mag-run po tayo dito. I-check po natin kung tama ba yung withdraw transaction natin. Pag mas malaki po yung in-enter sa limit, mag-i-insufficient funds po. Tapos do you want to retry? Yes. Kung negative naman po, please enter a positive amount. Tapos pag nag-no po, magbabalik po siya sa main menu. Tapos sa check balance naman po, ito po, nag-print po yung basic account here, tsaka yung balance po ng account na yun.
This line of code po sa case 4, dito na po nagkakaroon ng configuration sa aming logout variable, which is nakaset po yung aming logout variable as false beforehand. Sa case 4 po, dun po siya ma-change. And kapag na-change na po yung value ng aming logout variable, tsaka pa lang po ma-activate yung break. Para po hindi na po paulit-ulit magtanong yung aming program and makalisa po kami sa loop. After po nun, dadiretso na po siya sa aming if ever naman po na mali yung in-enter ng user or hindi po siya valid, saka lang po dadiretso yung aming code o yung aming program sa aming default case. And dun po sa case na yon, dun po niya i-display yung error message and then saka po mag-decrement ng 1. Magde-decrement po yung aming I variable dahil po for loop yung ginamit namin. Magde-decrement po yung I variable namin. Saka pa lang po magkakaroon ng loop pabalik po. Pabalik po para po magtanong or mag-prompt kay user hanggat hindi po tama at hindi po valid yung ini-input niya. After po nun kung sakali man pong pinindot po ni user yung 4 and nagdiretso break na po siya, i-check po ng program if yung logout po ba namin or yung value po ng aming logout variable is equates po sa true. If ever po na equates sa true at pinindot niya, at for example, pinindot po ni user yung 4 namin, yung at activate po yung 4 na bago po yung value ng aming logout variable at naging true, if ever man po na nangyari yon, makakapasok po yung program namin sa loob po ng if statement na to. Dito pong if logout, doon po makakapasok yung program namin at saka po ma-activate yung break. After, if ever naman po na hindi, kunwari, pinindot niya po yung ibang case, like yung sa 3, if ever naman po na hindi at dumiretso, ilalagpasan niya po yung block ng code na ito at dediretso po siya, i-check niya po if yung aming I is equates na po ba sa 3. Since for loop nga po yung ginamit namin, if ever na na-reach po yung 3, automatic titigil na po yung loop. And then, if ever naman po na na-reach na po yung 3, saka lang po makakapasok yung program namin sa if statement na to, at saka po magdi-display ng message para po ma-notify yung user na na-reach na po yung daily transaction limit. After po nun, itong mga line of codes ito, itong mga block of code na ito pong tatlo, ito if, else if, hanggang po dun sa mga withdraw tracker 3, yung po mga yan, tungkol lang po yan sa pagre-retain ng mga information or yung money na ginawang or yung mga previous transaction na nangyari sa account ni user. Para po if ever po na mag-login ulit si user o if ever na hindi pa po log out yung account niya, nandun pa rin po yung balance or yung changes po sa balance niya. Nandun pa rin po para po ma-store yung mga pangyayari. Ngayon, dito po sa mga susunod na mga lines of code, kaya po siya nakapaloob sa while loop na true para po pwede po naming ma-handle yung mga errors at paulit-ulit po magtanong hanggat hindi po namin na-receive yung tama or yung valid na response na hinihingi namin. If ever naman po na valid yung response na inano niya, kapag po equal po yun sa y, ginawa uppercase na y at saka lowercase na y, kasi po di po kami sure kung pwede po yung lower to uppercase or to lowercase method, kaya po pinagsabay na po namin. Ngayon, if ever po na equal po siya sa y, magbe-break lang po yung loop namin na nagtatanong na paulit-ulit. Then, dediretso na po yung program namin sa checking ng condition ng aming do while loop or yung aming main loop po. If ever man po, pa rin po yung is running namin, uulit po yung process mula umpisa. Now, kapag po pinindot po kasi ng user yung n, dun pa lang po magkakaroon ng configuration sa aming is running variable. And kapag po nabago po yung is running variable namin at naging false, next po kapag na-run na po yung preceding line, i-check po kasi ng preceding line kung yung running variable namin is true. Now kapag po na-configure siya dun sa n po namin, kapag po pinindot yung n, na-configure sa loob ng if statement na yon, tsaka po i-check ng aming while loop, ng aming condition sa do while loop. And then kapag po nag-false po yun, dun pa lang po magkakaroon ng termination. Mataterminate na po yung program and hindi na po ulit yung mga process na nangyari.
And that wraps our presentation on the multi-tier banking system. Yay! We hope you've gained a valuable insight just as we did through every step of the process. Thank you for joining us in this journey of learning and innovation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep building, and keep banking smarter.